Hello. Welcome everyone back to my channel. And I'm back again, this time with a title running. I've got two videos like this coming up. This one today and one next week, which will be about the playoff running. This video is going to be about, obviously, the title contenders. I've put the top three in this because between Stockport, Wrexham and Halifax. Stockport are top of the table with 85 points. Wrexham are second with 78 points, while Halifax Town, sneaking up there, little Halifax, are third with 77 points. And the way I look at it, if Wrexham are still in the running, so are Halifax. I will say at the start of this video, Stockport have 6 games remaining. Wrexham have 6 games remaining. Halifax have 5 games remaining. So before we get into the video, do like and subscribe to the channel. If you like the video, hit the bell. That will let you know when I upload some new content. Now onward to the video. I've got all 3 of the title contenders run-ins here, and I'm going to take us through each team's run-in individually, and then at the end I'll give you my prediction of where all 3 of them now I believe will finish. So we'll start with the league leaders, Stockport County, obviously bouncing back with a win on Easter Monday against Solihull. They need that after losing to Grimsby on Good Friday. But this is Stockport's running. 6 games remaining, so there's 18 points to play for. Stockport start on Saturday away at Yeovil Town. Then they host out of sorts Bournemouth. They then are away at Chesterfield, away at Wrexham, home to Torquay, and at home to Halifax. You've got to say, really, for Stockport, you can't see them really not getting past Yeovil. And realistically, I can see them getting past Bournemouth. Chesterfield, a little bit more difficult, I think. It's going to be tough to do that. Can they slip up there? That is a game that is winnable for Chesterfield, but Chesterfield, they're not in the strongest period at the minute under Paul Cook. They're actually one of the teams when we go into the playoffs where they are struggling to probably make the playoffs the way it's going so far. Then we talk about maybe the title decider against Wrexham. I'm saying that could finish a draw because they're both real strong teams, and going to Wrexham does make it difficult. I do know that'll be a TV game on the 8th of May, so that's going to be very, very interesting. That could decide whether Stockport win the league or not. Then they host Torquay. Now, Torquay are going to be a little bit of a sleeper, or they could be a spoiler, home to Torquay, and then Halifax to finish at home. And this is why I put Halifax in the actual running, and you'll see as I go through the other 2. So Yeovil, Bournemouth, Chesterfield, Wrexham, Torquay and Halifax Town all still to play for Stockport County. Not an easy running, really, at all. You would expect them to beat Yeovil. you would expect them to beat Bournemouth. Chesterfield's going to be a little bit more of a challenge. Maybe not as much as they probably would have been about 2 months ago, but they're still going to be a bit of a challenge. Then the big one with Wrexham. That could be the clincher. A difficult home game against Torquay, and then they could have 2 title deciders in their running depending on results elsewhere. It's a very tough running for Stockport. So we'll have to see how they get on. The next team I want to talk about is the team in second place right now, Wrexham. On Saturday they go to Woking and then they go to Weymouth. You've got to say for these 2 fixtures, you've got to say that I fancy Wrexham to win both of those. Kind of like I do Stockport, Then after that they host Southend. Then they go to Boreham Wood. And again, you can't really see where they're going to drop points up to that point. And then they host Stockport, as I could be the title decider, before they finish on May the 15th away at Dagenham and Redbridge. And these are the things that, you have to take into account where Wrexham are concerned. Wrexham are knocking goals in like there's no tomorrow. But there's still a 10 goal deficit for Wrexham over Stockport, for Stockport. This is unbelievable. That all Stockport need to do is keep winning. Wrexham, they can basically play no-lose football. They've got to. They can't really afford to drop points to anybody. Again, like they did Good Friday when they dropped points to Solihull. Both the top 2 have struggled against Solihull Moors. One got a point and one got a narrow win. I would fancy Woking. I would fancy him against Woking and Weymouth, but I think they're probably the more difficult games because they're going to be hard to get the lads motivated up for, and Southend, because Weymouth could be relegated by the time they play them, so no pressure really on Weymouth. Woking, same, no pressure on them. No pressure on Southend either. Bournemouth are falling off a cliff. Then hosting Stockport and Dagenham, and probably feel like Wrexham to win the league may have to win both of those games to do it. That is a difficult running. Maybe on paper not as difficult as Stockport's, but I think in a way it's slightly more dangerous than Stockport because nearly every team Stockport are playing, they're going to have to be switched on for more than Wrexham. So Wrexham can't afford any more slips if they're going to catch Stockport. And I mean any. I don't believe Wrexham can drop another point. Because I believe if they do, they won't win the title. Stockport can actually afford to lose 2 more games as points stand. They won't want to, but really they can. So it's a difficult running for Wrexham, but you would expect them to get, they should, people would say, probably get the next four games because of form and league positioning. But you never know. But they are basically in a no-lose situation or no points drop situation. So we'll have to see how Wrexham go about their business. Will the chase be too much for them? They're banging in goals at the minute, but who knows? So we'll have to wait and see. And now we move on to Halifax. Now, I've added Halifax, like I said, because they're third. And when I looked through Halifax's remaining fixtures, they've got one less fixture than Stockport or Wrexham. So they've only got 5 games remaining in their season. But is there a possibility that Halifax could squeak the National League from under Stockport's nose? Here's why. These are Halifax Town's remaining 5 fixtures. They go away to Southend on Saturday. Then they host Yeovil. Then they go to Eastleigh, who are safe. Then they host Aldershot. And then they play Stockport on the last day on May the 15th. Stockport. Now, this is why I've added them to this title run. Halifax know they drop any more points, they can't win the league. But if you look at those next 4 games for Halifax, they're all winnable fixtures. You've got more chance, I believe, of Stockport dropping points and Wrexham dropping points on paper than Halifax. Now, you can spin it another way, and you can say that Halifax have the tougher fixtures. Why? Because the 4 games they've got before Stockport in the final game, none of them have anything to play for. So that, in another way, could make those 4 games dangerous. And it's all about mindset going late on in this division, in this running. It's all about mindset. I personally, my own personal opinion, I would rather have Stockport's running than Wrexham's or Halifax's, because Stockport have to still stay focused, because they still have to play Wrexham, and they still have to play Chesterfield, they still have to play Torquay, and they still have to play Halifax. So I would rather have Stockport's. Now, fans will probably say, why? You'd rather have Halifax's. They've got a fantastic running. They've got a no-lose running, as in they cannot win running. Now, people always question, what do I mean by a team can't win? Like I said, Halifax have got Southend, Yeovil, Eastleigh and Aldershot. Expected to win all 4. If they don't approach those games rightly, they could slip up in those 4 games. And the Stockport game could mean absolutely nothing anyway, but it would definitely mean nothing. But because we know how fans' mentalities are, you go to teams that can't really do anything, you automatically think you're entitled to get the win. And that isn't the case. So in one way, Halifax have the nicest running in set of fixtures, but I would rather have Stockport's running or Wrexham's running, because they've still got to play teams with something to play for, which I think will help both those teams. But I want to hear from all National League supporters on this. but mainly specifically from Stockport fans, from Wrexham fans, and from Halifax fans specifically. Stockport fans, how many points do you think Stockport will need to win the title? And will they win the title before May the 8th? I don't believe mathematically they can, unless Wrexham drop points in the next 4 games. I can't really see them dropping points. But you never know. The only reason why I say I fancy Wrexham over Halifax is because of their last 2 fixtures. So you never know. But Stockport fans, how many points do you think you're going to need? And do you think you will win the title? Wrexham fans, same to you. With the 6 games you have remaining in the National League, I believe you can have no drop point football. You've got to win them all. Stockport can afford to lose a couple. You've got to win them all, really, because of the gap and the goal difference. You've got to win them all, I think. Wrexham fans may disagree. Do they feel like it could be a title decided between them and Stockport? Are you guys looking at games like against Woking and at Weymouth and Southend and thinking, yeah, we'll just turn up and win that? Is that your mentality? Or do you think, you know what, we've got to be switched on for those? And Halifax fans, do you think you can gate crash the party of Wrexham and Stockport? Can little Halifax? I say that because they've got one of the smallest budgets in the National League. Can you guys really do this? Can you do this? I want everybody's opinion. Everybody who's a National League supporter, pick who you think will. But mainly these 3 sets of supporters. How many points Stockport do you think you need? Halifax, can you gate crash the party? And Wrexham, do you agree with me that you need basically flawless football? Because you can't rely on Stockport. Or mainly because you've got to hope that people take points and then that you are winning those games. It'll be interesting to find a broad range of opinion. And just before I end this video, I am going to tell you where I believe these clubs now will finish. I believe Stockport County will win the National League. After what I watched Good Friday, they are without a doubt the best team I have seen at Blundell Park all season. And they really are. We beat them, but for the first half an hour, they absolutely battered my team. Battered Grimsby. I don't think we knew which way was up. So I think Stockport will win the National League. I'm saying Halifax will finish second. Halifax are literally pulling up so many trees right now. And with the running that they do have, in one way it could be the toughest running you could ask for. In another way, it's the nicest running of anybody in the top 3. And if they can get close enough, but like I said, it's not in their hands to finish top. It's Stockport's. If Stockport probably win the next 3, they'll have the title won, in my opinion. Because they won't need to beat Wrexham. They'll just need to not lose to Wrexham. But if you're going to look at run-ins, I'm going to put Halifax second. And what an achievement that would be for Halifax. Wrexham fans, I'm going to put you third in this run-in. And the reason being is Stockport and Dagenham. You cannot afford to drop any more points in this title race. And I feel like you will. The way you're scoring, people will go, absolutely no chance. They're going to go the remainder of the season unbeaten. But knowing that your second to last game is Stockport, knowing that Stockport have the goal difference on you and the 7 or 8 point gap on you, I can't see Stockport slipping enough, but I can see you dropping points. Just my opinion. I do see in those last two, I do see you dropping something. Could come earlier. And I'm sorry to say I'm putting you third, but that is just how, looking at it, how I fancy it. Because I think Halifax running is slightly easier and better than Wrexham's. But Wrexham do have a game in hand which could help them do it. But I'm going to stick my neck out and say Stockport to win the league, probably by about 10 points. Halifax will sneak second, and Wrexham will finish in third. I know what all of you think about that, and what all you guys' opinions are. Do you think that Stockport will win the league now? Do you think Halifax could really, really spring a surprise? And do you think the Hollywood men of Wrexham, can they be throwing a big Hollywood party at the end of the season? Let me know down below in the comments what you think. I'll be back later on in the week with more National League content. And like I said, later on in the week, I've got a video about the playoff running. That'll come after the weekend, so look out for that. Hopefully put that out on Wednesday, so look out for it. But I want to know what you guys opinions are for the National League. Who's gonna win it with the running? Let me know.